Hello, this is the Chelsea Football Fancast. I am Stamford Chidge. This is Darren Mantle. He is Paul Jeffries, known as Pablo to his friend. Friend or friends?
Whatever.
And this is Al Greg, or Greg Al.
Greg Al.
It doesn't really matter.
Gregula.
Gregula, yeah. He's keeping it Gregula tonight. Anyway, and the benches are in full force tonight. They've been in good form. Hello. Look at them. They're still awake. It never ceases to amaze me.
Shadow's definitely awake. He's picked you up on your tourist thing. He reckons it's 9 this season, European goals.
9?
He's listed them all as well.
The beautiful thing is, you see, the great thing about this programme is that I have a script, you see, and I look through my scripts. I look for page 5. I look for page 6. But have I... No, that's page 1. We can't do your on CFC because I've lost the script. No, I'm joking. Luckily, this is the one bit of the programme where I don't actually need a script, because this is the bit that we just make up as we go along. Now, I think we will hopefully have a Skype caller in a minute, but before I do, I'll tell you how you can do this. Basically, we want to hear what you have to say, whether you just want to have a bit of a rant about something or talk about an issue that you're interested in, or even better, just ask us a question and we'll try and answer it. But to do that, you can either email us chelseafancast@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at @ChelseaFancast. And of course, if you use the hashtag #ChelseaFancast, that also helps. And if you're on Mixlr, and maybe you can even hear it, but actually you don't even have to hear it, because you could just use it as a live web chat. And the address for that is mixlr.com/Chelsea-Fancast. And of course, as I said, you can Skype us, Chelsea.fancast, and hopefully get on the programme by doing that. Now, I'm going to kick it off with a question first, because I found one earlier on. In fact, this guy had 3. He had so many, it was not true. And anyway, the first one is from JLT, I think it's 5 or S87. As always, I can't read my own writing, but we picked up on this a lot, actually, but I'm going to ask it again. What are our thoughts on Ramirez and Lamps, and are they really doing the job in the defensive midfielder's position, Darren?
Not at the moment. They clearly aren't, and I think they will do when they learn to play with each other in a different style. They're so used to playing a different game, and Lampard being box to box, and he can't do that anymore. Ramirez just needs to be more confident pushing up. Sometimes he'll do it. He used to be fantastic at doing so and latching onto through balls and things like that, but he sometimes wants to stay back a bit more now, and I think he should be given more of a free run than anyone in the team.
Ramirez?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he runs around a lot. He can get up there.
Yeah, but I mean, running around a lot.
Doesn't need to.
I could go out there and run around a lot.
Yeah, but Mourinho might.
Admittedly, I could only do it for about 30 seconds.
Mourinho,
I would run around a lot.
Okay, we get your joke. Mourinho likes to. He likes to micromanage players into doing exactly what he wants them to do, which includes the attacking players like Oscar, like Matt, like everyone else. But I think the one position where he can actually let someone actually be the judge of their own game is Ramirez, where he is.
Not in a 2 though. In a 3, he was very good because he had the fullback of 2 other people helping him out, like Lampard and Mikel or whoever it was, or he was playing out wide. But I mean, he's been a first-choice central midfielder for nearly 2 years now, with him all of last season and the second half of the season before that. And they should, frankly, have had the time and the chance to adapt to it now, really, and they should be playing better.
They've certainly had a long run at it, don't they? And I mean, personally, I don't think it works. I don't think they're really suited to it. I mean, I don't think Lamps is. I think, we're not getting the best out of Lamps with him being there, or you could also conversely argue that Lamps is perhaps not in the best of form. I accept, but either way, I don't see it working with them. But I want Mikel to start there, so that would be my take on it. But what do you think, Gregel?
I would bung a massive spanner in the works and say I'd like Lewis in there.
Really?
In midfield, maybe as a 3, as Pablo was saying.
Why?
Yeah, because if he makes a mistake, then we're not going to have a problem in the 60-yard
He's still going to give the ball away.
Yeah.
I don't think he will. I think if you give Lewis a bit more responsibility, he'll play. He won't give the ball away. I think he gets lazy.
Responsibility than being in the central defence, mate.
Well, no, not. Yeah, but it's much worse if he's like central defender and he loses the ball. It's going to lead to a goal. At least if something does go wrong, it's only going to be like maybe a free kick. Yeah, there'll be someone. There'll be a last man after him. Because that's what he's always going to be a bit headless and put a tackle in, and it will lead to a penalty.
The trouble is he does like to ping the ball up there too much. He doesn't always see other options. I don't think he observes which players are where. He just thinks, right, someone's coming near me, ping the ball up there.
It's something ironically that I don't know if I'm allowed to say that the fat waiter tried, and
it's on the banned list.
Oh, is it?
You can't say fat, Spanish or waiter in the same grouping.
What happens if I just did?
That's an abbreviated... Well, it's just banned, man. We should rightly be taken off air by every self-respecting Chelsea supporter for
right.
I think. But it's all right.
Enough said then.
He's gone. He's gone, Greg. It's okay. Let's just to broaden this out a bit. You know, what do you think the future of because the other thing is that we have lost a few. I mean, Romeu, he could possibly play in this role.
9 or 2, he's not mobile.
MVG. Well, he's not mobile for the moment because he's on loan now, isn't he? He's better. His knee had gone. And Mike, Van Ginkel, Josh McEachran even. I mean, we had all these players waiting in the wings, and I just wonder what's going to happen to them.
Well, the problem wasn't addressed last summer, and it hasn't been addressed this summer. There's still is probably the weakest part of the team is our central midfielder.
And yet we have all of these 2 years. Central midfielders.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know really, do we?
Well, we bought a lot of attacking ones. We didn't buy any.
Well, Josh is on loan and has been underdeveloped, if you see what I mean. Romeo's got injured and been loaned out, and Van Ginkel is injured. So
we've got Essien as well, who clearly isn't fancied this year for whatever reason.
Because his legs have gone, mate.
But throughout last year, we had for most of last season, we had 3 fit central midfielders, and it really was telling on the overall form. Mikel, Ramirez, and Lampard were the only ones, which is why Luiz was put there in the first place.
I'm going to lighten the mood a little bit because I feel that we're all getting a bit down. I am anyway. Have you all switched off yet? Well, don't, because there's a Skype call coming up, and I do believe we know who he is. It's Mohammed, better known to us and those of us on Mixler as Check Yourself. There you go. Hey, mate, how are you doing?
Hey,
how's
it going, boys?
I'm really good. All right. And very nice to see you, Mohammed, because you're coming over to the bridge soon, aren't you?
Very soon, 2 weeks.
That's right, 2 weeks. I'll be in London, Southampton home.
Excellent.
Looking forward to that.
Are we're gonna see you in the pub, I hope.
Yeah, sure.
And
Just tell me where. I'm there.
Excellent. And you're gonna come here and sit on the benches too, I hope.
Yeah, sounds good for me. And of course, when it's the other way around, you got your boys comes to New York. We'll take care of you good, nice.
Mate, I love New York. I'll be over there in a flash. And where are you drinking in New York? Is it Legends or Lunasa these days?
Legends is the only place to be.
Excellent. Look, when you're next in there for the next game, can you do us a favour and say a big thank you and hello to the Neat boys, Steve and Mike? Do you know
Absolutely.
those? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought
No
you'd
doubt
know
about
that.
it.
Brilliant. Okay, fella, have you got a question for us?
Yeah, I have a question. Aside from any match day advice you have, another question. You could take one, you could take both. You could even hang up if you don't fancy the questions. But the question I have is talking about the troubles at home. What do you think about Oscar slotting in alongside, perhaps Mikel? Someone who could pass the ball a bit better, freeing up Mata to play back in the number 10, who I think gives us a little bit of that early delivery, which could trouble defenders.
Mate, they're all looking at me like I've kind of secretly bunged you $100 to say that, because I absolutely agree with that, 100%. That's what I was saying earlier on in the show. In Chichi's balanced 11, Oscar and Mikel play together in the defensive midfield role to free up Mata to play at number 10, because I think he's the best number 10 that we've got. And I think that Oscar can bring the kind of energy, tackling and distribution and also a little bit of box-to-boxness that you need for the other defensive midfielder, allowing Mikel basically just to sit and protect the back four, and link up a little bit. So, mate, you and me, mate, we're brothers.
All right. Sounds good.
So that's a really good start, Mohammed.
You like Mourinho and Clark?
Huh?
You like Mourinho and Clark?
Mourinho and Clark. Yeah, he is. It's like, I'm Mourinho, he's Clark, obviously. Has to be said. So what do you think, mate?
Well, I think Mata, you can really tell just in the last 5 minutes, what he's done is he can just really dink the ball over the top. Anytime a team, like West Brom, like all the teams coming to the bridge, who really don't come to play us, with respect to them, but they really don't come to play us one bit. Mata really gives us that early delivery, that quickness. Yes, he does need space, but he does have that when they sit so deep. And Oscar has shown us with Brazil, he can just sit back deep. He has a work rate. He has a discipline positionally to really work well alongside perhaps Mikel or Rami.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, mate. I mean, the other thing, I like what you said about Mata too, and I that's why I think Mata's the best number 10. And I'm a great believer. I mean, I'll tell you what the interesting thing is actually, is that Mourinho's mentality, I think he only will stretch to like one, out and out creative flair player. So it kind of makes you wonder, is there a future for playing Hazard and Mata together? Because Hazard's clearly a flair player. So I just wonder if you do put Mata as number 10, it might be at the expense of playing, Hazard. But I don't know. What do you think, boys?
I think there's no issue with that when there's someone playing in the middle. I think whoever's the number 10 is effectively given free rein to not pull his weight almost. to the same extent.
Well, to do what he's there for, Pablo, which is to create.
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's space for one player alongside a second player. So it's an issue there.
You were asking us about some match day advice, and I think that's an excellent question, mate, because you are coming over in 2 weeks, and I look forward to feeding you with beer.
And Guinness.
And Guinness. But no salary, not in the pub. So what do you want to know?
You know, do you recommend the stadium tour?
Might as well do it. It's worth doing, yeah. I'd say you might as well do it, see inside the ground, yeah.
And the museum as well, actually, Mohammed. A great mate of ours, Rick Glanville, basically did a lot of work to set up the museum, and it is seriously well worth a look. If you want to acquaint yourself with a bit of Chelsea history, definitely do that. And as Darren said, the stadium tour is well worth doing. If you've never been before, then it's a lovely kind of introduction to the ground on a non-match day. What else do you want to know about the match day? You want to know the pubs?
Yeah, sure. Where can I find you guys?
Well, we drink in the Southern Cross, or we tend to these days. I do anyway. Paul slums it in the Elk. Don't ask me why. But we drink it. There are several other pubs we drink in, but normally it tends to be the Southern Cross, largely because the beer's cheap. And then we tend to drink after the game in the Hand and Flower.
And that's where you'll find almost everyone after the game would be in the Hand and Flower, which is on the parallel road to the stadium. It's about maybe a 5-minute walk. If
you want to see us, that's where to go. The other thing you've got to check out on a match day, mate, is the CFC UK store, which is opposite Fulham Broadway, the tube station exit, because there's some great people there that you can bump into. You can sign up to the Chelsea Supporters Trust if you haven't already, and you can buy some books from Marco Worrell. He's written some great books on Chelsea. In fact, you could probably buy, I don't know if you can see this, there you go, the wrong outfit. Give it to Darren, because they can see it better, apparently. I don't know. No, sit down. Darren, sit down.
They can't see it better from here.
No.
They've
got a
lurid...
The boys in the gallery. Hey! A single shot. That's a seminal moment on the Chelsea Football Fancast. God, Darren looks very different close up. Never ever do that again. But there you go. Seriously, Mohammed. Check out the bookstore, the CFC UK store, because you get some great stuff there. But just let us know when you're coming, and we'll have a beer.
Yeah, we'll do.
And
thanks a lot, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Sorry, one bit of not really Chelsea advice, just London advice. Get an Oyster card. The two people, what's his name, William, they spent a fortune.
Travel card, is it?
Yeah, just buy an Oyster card as soon as you get to Heathrow or whichever wherever you're flying into.
Gatwick, yeah.
All right, mate, we've got to go, but it's been brilliant to see you, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yes, thank you all, boys. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening and watching, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, well done. Yeah, round of applause. Lovely. Right, we've got a little time, but I've got one that I really want to ask because it's from the gaffer, and we don't want to upset the gaffer. You know the gaffer?
We're wasting time, but yes.
All right, he says, and it's a good question too, he says, what do you think about Jose's comments today about the atmosphere? He basically said that we have pony fans, basically.
It clearly is. It's not us, it's everywhere. And a lot of people that say about the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge clearly don't go to away games because they realise that we do have one of the best atmospheres in the country.
We do, don't we? It's a huge irony, isn't it?
And it is, unfortunately, everywhere is dwindling, and every team will tell you that. Like, Newcastle used to be renowned for atmosphere, isn't the same there. Nowhere has the same thing. Liverpool certainly don't have the atmosphere they used to have either. Yeah, but
City.
I can't ever, in my lifetime, I don't remember United having a good atmosphere though, but at least I do remember Newcastle and
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we've been saying about United for years, and they were the first to get a load of plastic fans, basically, and then you've got Arsenal, and we were saying the other week that, for God's sake, don't move from Stamford Bridge because we will be like that if you do. But what do you think, boys?
I think partly with Chelsea, it's a case of having our original ground. It was masses of space from the goal to the shed. So we really never had a home atmosphere unless the ground was really packed with like 50,000 supporters.
Yeah, that's true.
It was rubbish. Yeah. So in a way, when we built the Matthew Harding in the shed, rebuilt them, it was really close to the goal, and I think it became quite intimidating.
It's really quite interesting.
But only certain matches.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that too, is that, a lot of people who go in the old days have said this, and they've said that actually when we built the new stadium, because it was smaller and enclosed, when you had 40, and we had more people there, because in those days, in the old shed days, we're talking 20, 30,000 for most matches, and now you get 42,000. So there's more people in a more confined space. So actually, on a good day, it's actually much louder than it ever used to be in the old days. But I think Jose's point for me is pretty spot on. You got a lot. I mean, there was like some kid who was there for the match, Gate 17, and this is what he did the whole match. He filmed the whole match.
I saw someone tweeting about that.
Why? Check yourself, mate.
On his tablet, yeah.
Right, we've got what? Come on.
I've got a question here for Mr. Greg over there. Okay, if you can relive any season that you've obviously attended Chelsea matches for, which season would it be? That's from Kevin Hennessy, who says 83-84 for him when he was young, flushed and ready, missed the game home or away.
Nice.
Wow. I'd have to say 76-77, because that season had everything. It had the highs and lows of the starting quite low in the division, then obviously getting promoted. All the crazy mayhem of the terrace thing, but the support was amazing away from home. And then you had stupid decisions, a little bit like the Abramovich era, sacking Eddie McCready at the end of the season because he wanted a car. So you had all these things right the way through the season. So I'd have to go 76, 77. I was only like 13, 14 years old, so that would be the one for me.
I like that. Good. Bit of history.
Do you want any other questions?
I do.
Okay, Dino says, if we could have one player in January, who would you sign? Pablo, who would you sign?
I like the fact that Paul Pogba's been mentioned recently, actually. I think he's excellent. I think he's...
Seriously?
Yeah, massively. I think he's young and dynamic and able to hold on to the ball.
His name's too close to Drogba. We can't have a Pogba when we've had a Drogba.
Yep. Chidge,
Okay, fine.
one player you secretly like but don't want to admit it. It can be a Chelsea player or a player from any other team.
I only like players who play for Chelsea.
Is there anyone you secretly
No.
like? Who don't?
I only like players who play for Chelsea.
Okay.
That's a Cheltel answer, isn't it?
Okay, Mr.
That
Greg.
was for you, Cheltel. I hope you're all right in the you-know-where, by the way.
That was from John Hanson, by the way, sorry. Zorio NG asks, and I'll ask you again, Greg, do you think Czech is dipping in form?
No, I don't. I think he's allowed a couple of bad games here and there. I really do think he is. Because he's still, as a goalkeeper, he's still fairly young. And I think, well, in terms of, he's still around the 30 age group. I think he'll come back from this even stronger. I really do.
What you said, your comment earlier about David Luiz, having people not covering for him.
Yeah.
It's saying that a goalkeeper has no one to cover for him. They do make a mistake, everyone remembers it, everyone will focus on it. For that reason.
Benches, have you got anything for us?
No.
No. No. Andy's,
I'd like Lewandowski, but probably no chance of getting him.
What do you want to ask?
Lewandowski.
That's who you sign. One player in January.
Yeah, I kind of do secretly like him, really.
Benches, Paul Crowder asked a question, let you lot answer this. Alonso, would he be a positive acquisition? That's what he says.
Yeah. I think so.
I don't either, I agree with you, Silverman.
Go on, blimey, you need to wake up, you lot.
Especially
Chelsea.
Well, Lampard never got on well with him either, with the old thing about...
Wake up, benches! Wake up, benches! Wake up, benches! I've got one more question from Engels Zapata.
Okay.
And I promised him that this would get asked. He put it on Facebook. He says, I haven't got Skype, and he has a panic. All right?
Okay.
And I'm going to ask it to you, Darren. All right? But Engels, because we like Engels Zapata, he's got a great name, hasn't he?
Yeah, I thought you made up at first.
All right, you've got a minute to get your chops around this
brilliant.
one. Right, is it time for Oscar to take a rest? He's been a bystander for the last 3 games. Boom!
No, I don't think so, because he has always got moments of brilliance and things like his goal in the Matthew Harding stand. Was it the Cardiff game when he scored when he dipped it in? And like you were talking about his free kick for the West Brom game. Who else, I suppose Matt as well, can always have that moment of brilliance, but Oscar can. I think he'll just work through it. He doesn't need to have a rest. Maybe just League Cup matches, that sort of thing. But no.
I can't disagree. I don't think he has been a bystander for the last 3 games, actually. I think his performance has dropped a little bit, but I don't think he's been a bystander. But I think he probably might need a rest, because what worries me about Oscar is he's played something like 7,003 games in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
It's like 180 games in 2 years or something.
I mean,
like
he has played way too many games.
But
he's young.
then Mata did as well, didn't he?
Well, yeah, look how
70 games or something.
He was at the beginning of the season. I do think that Oscar's going to need a rest. I really, really do. And it does kind of worry me about that. And actually, do you know what? You're going to like this. That's a little bit of linkage coming up. We need a rest too. See what I've done there? It's good. Val Dunican does it as good as that. No, we're going to have a break. Seriously, chats. And then we'll be back for a bit of news and possibly Chelsea chatter stats.